Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. PDP and its candidate Atiku Abubakar closed their case against the victory of President Buhari at the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal sitting in Abuja. President Buhari gives assurance of his administration's commitment to ensuring a nation's security and economic progress in line with his campaign promises. Once more, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki talks tough on the State Assembly leadership crisis, vows to resist attempts by anyone to create confusion in the state. And a British-flagged oil tanker reportedly seized in the Gulf by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. For more information on our top stories and others, do visit our website channelstv.com, and of course youtube.com/channelsweb has videos of all our shows. Now let's take a look at some of the pictures that you sent into our Eyewitness portal, beginning with this one from Port Harcourt-Aba Expressway, showing the condition of the road there. Our Eyewitness reporter is calling on the state government to clean up the area. Next is this image from the Lagos-Badagry Expressway by the Trade Fair access. According to our Eyewitness reporter, the area is always chaotic, leading to traffic and sometimes accidents. He's asking the Lagos State Governor, whom he says recently visited the area, to do something. Still in Lagos State, we got this video showing a spot near a major canal around Emerald Estate on the Lekki-Ajah Road, where an estate is allegedly being constructed. Our Eyewitness is concerned about the blockage this will create, and he wants the Lagos State government to wade in as soon as possible. Thanks for all your pictures. Send them coming in to us. Now, some members of the Islamic movement in Nigeria continued their protest march in the nation's capital, Abuja, today, as they asked the government to obey court orders and free their leader, Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky. The protesters, who took to the streets a few minutes after Jumat prayers at the mosque in Wuse Zone 2 area, insist that they will not stop their protests until the government frees their leader. The protesters say they do not understand why the federal government will refuse to set their leader free after a federal high court in Abuja granted him freedom over a year ago. Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaky was arrested in 2015 after a clash with the army in Kaduna State. In the meantime, the presidency is appealing to Shiite members to desist from needless violent street protests and wait patiently for the decision of the court in Kaduna, where their leader is currently being tried. A statement from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says the destruction of public property and interference with the rights of other citizens in the name of protest is not within the rights of the group. The statement explains that the case involving Sheikh El-Zakzaky is no longer in the domain of the Ministry of Justice, and that the government at the centre can be said to be clear of any alleged violations of court orders as being trumpeted every day. Mr. Shehu says that rallies and street dances staged to openly insult the president and other leaders will lead nowhere, because President Muhammadu Buhari will not ask the country's judiciary to abandon due process and set a suspect free. He maintains that the Buhari administration has absolutely no hand in the ongoing court case, and the courts are free to determine the bail request and the final outcome. We move over to Benue State, where victims of a petrol tanker explosion in Gwer East local government area are appealing to the federal government for help, just 2 weeks after a motion for emergency aid and relief supplies was raised on the floor of the House of Representatives. Their call follows the death of 13 more victims who sustained 90-degree burns, with doctors at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital stretched to capacity, trying to save their lives.
Over 13 of the victims have died due to the severity of their injuries. The visit by the lawmaker representing them looks to be a relief as he makes cash donations.
One of the things we seek to do is to ensure that the regulatory authorities, DPR, PPMC, the ministry itself, are held accountable, and the industry operator from this accident. We will ensure that all is done to save the lives of all those who are left. The poor state of this Makudi Alede Utupo 9th Mile Road, it's in a deplorable condition.
Here at the Benue State University Teaching Hospital, more victims are still in need of care, as one of them narrates what he can remember on the fateful day.
the tanker fell down and crossed the main road. So as he was about to enter main road, so from there the silencer, the exhaust of that bus now cracks on the main road. So that is where fire catch. As the motor fall on top of main road, fuel was dropping everywhere. So that is where fire surround everywhere.
A team of Doctors Without Borders meet with the hospital management. Reconstructive plastic surgery and grafting for the patients is the basis of discussions.
They are helping us with about 40 nurses to collaborate in taking care of the victims. We have a physiotherapist to join our own physiotherapy unit to also help. They're also helping us in getting clinical psychologists to join our team to also help. We have plastic surgeons, but they're also bringing their surgeons subsequently to collaborate with us to see how we can help.
Although the reconstructive plastic surgery is built to commence in a few weeks, survivors need more intervention to live.
The permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Education has set up an 11-man administrative audit panel to look into allegations of mismanagement of $10 million worth of funding from the federal government. The panel will also look into the illegal sale of 200 hectares of land out of the 240 hectares allocated to the African University of Science and Technology by the federal government. A fact-finding team was initially set up by the Federal Universities Commission to look into the state of affairs in the school, and the team found out that the university has no governing council, contrary to the university law, and has vested a lot of powers in the Board of Trustees, none of which is a representative of the Nigerian government. The panel has 6 weeks to submit its report.
The university was allocated a 240 hectares land by the federal government of Nigeria, out of which it had utilized only 40 hectares. Part of the remaining 200 hectares has been allegedly leased for 99 years to private individuals. The details of the lease agreement were not available to the inspection team. It is against this backdrop that this administrative audit panel is constituted and is being inaugurated today to enable government to take a more in-depth look and review of the proprietorship, the academic affairs, the governance, financial and fiscal development matters in the university, and make recommendations towards resolving the identified challenges.
In a bid to rid Taraba State of illicit drugs consumption and substance abuse, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in collaboration with the Taraba State government, has destroyed 7 tons of prohibited substances worth millions of naira. The illicit drugs, weighing about 7 kilograms of weed and psychotropic substances, were seized between January 2003 and December 2018.
According to a survey on drug use in Nigeria released by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, an estimated population of about 14.3 million people between ages 15 and 64 had used drugs, excluding alcohol and tobacco, in 2017. The report reveals that drug use was most common among adults between the ages of 25 and 39. One of the states in northeast Nigeria where drug abuse is rampant is Taraba State, where authorities are trying to reduce the menace of the continuous crackdown on abusers and traffickers. Between January 2003 and December 2018, over 6 million kilograms of illicit drugs were seized by the NDLEA in Taraba State.
Cannabis sativa has remained the most widely abused substance, followed by pharmaceutical opiates, mainly tramadol, and to a lesser extent, cough syrups containing codeine. Taraba State is made more vulnerable by its geographical location. Being situated in the northeast region, for obvious reasons, and bordering the Republic of Cameroon, coupled with the activities of hostile elements within this region, which are fueled by funds from drug trafficking and drug use by their foot soldiers.
Announcing the arrival of His Excellency, the Executive Governor.
The state government says it will continue to support the fight against illicit drug trade and abuse because of the positive results from regular seizures of substances.
And urge you to continue to put in more effort, because with more effort, I can assure you that more and more of these drugs will be seized in Taraba State. The menace of illicit drugs is everywhere now, especially in northern part of the country. So we need to fight it. We need to fight it with all seriousness it deserves, because majority of those that are consuming these drugs, they are youth, and the youths are the leaders of tomorrow.
For the most vulnerable group, the youth believe that more needs to be done in terms of educating them on the need for a healthier lifestyle. The ultimate goal is to reduce the negative numbers in Taraba State and cut down the rate of abuse in the state and the northeast region.
You see passengers panicking in this amateur video showing what played out this morning at the Murtala Mohammed Airport when this man climbed on the wings of an Azam Air Lagos Port Harcourt bound flight. The aircraft was taxiing from the local wing to the runway of the international airport when the man was spotted on the wings of the plane. The man was later arrested by security operatives. Very bizarre. While the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has suspended indefinitely 4 aviation security unit heads who were on duty when the incident occurred, pending completion of ongoing investigations into the security breach. In a statement issued by FAN in Lagos, the affected officers are the Airport Chief of Security, International Terminal Security Officer, Head of Department Domestic Terminal 2, and Head of Department Domestic Terminal 1. The General Manager of the authority, Dr. Ann Eyinnaya Ibadan, is to take charge as Head of Security at the airport. FAN says it views the breach as a serious security concern and has commenced investigations to ascertain the remote and immediate causes of this incident to forestall a recurrence. When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria to export slightly less crude from its 4 main oil streams in September and large overhang. That's on Business News. Plus, a British-flagged oil tanker reportedly seized in the Gulf by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. And that's coming from our London Bureau in Around the World in 5. Please join us again.